all of the big Hoggerinos doing the Million Man MAGA March, which is, of course, sparsely attended, not necessarily with 1 million people, quite far from 1 million people, as a matter of fact. It's like more like, I mean, there's some people, there's a good amount of people there, but not as big as they thought it was going to be. Regardless, there's some delicious copium there. All right, let's watch what CNN's doing on the ground here.
See, there are folks from all over the place, you know, from as far away as...
I'm surprised. Why are they... I'm seeing way too many masks. Oh, wait, never mind. A lot of chin diapies, dude. What's going on? Why even have the mask at all? Catch me slipping off guard like this. I mean, it's worse that you have the mask on at that point. You know what I mean? Where you're just basically like, you're basically there being like, yeah, I'm MAGA, but I'm only halfway. It's like, you can't go halfway, dude. You got to go full MAG at that point, you know? He's covering the nussy. You're out here covering the nussy, the neck pussy, for those of you who are new and unfamiliar to the terminology I use here. But also, like, that kind of shows you're not fully in it. You know what I mean? You're not in it to win it. If you're wearing a mask or you're wearing a halfway, you might as well not wear it. As Donald Trump also always correctly says. Folks, we can't do masks. Everyone keeps touching the masks. It's pointless.
But they are getting the crowd going here in Washington, D.C. There are folks from all over the place.
Good time to remind everybody that yesterday, with 160,000 new cases, we broke yet another record. Previously, the record was the day before when we broke 148,000 new cases in a single day. Previously, the day before that, 125,000. And also in the beginning of the week when we hit 100,000, that was a big record. So that's record-breaking 4 days in a row, that which in and of itself might be a record, literally. Breaking the record of exponential growth of coronavirus new cases might be a record in and of itself, which of course leads me to say I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free, brother. Woo! Hogwatch 2020. Goddamn! 1,600 dead. Yesterday, we're getting it back to that 3,000 number, folks. Remember that the 3,000 number we had at the peak of coronavirus, where we had all them hospitals closing down? That's what we need to get it back to, brother. 1/9/11 every day. You know, only then will we exercise our freedom and how patriotic we are. Now, this shit is silly as fuck. Obviously, you're going to turn around and be like, well, Hasan, how dare you look at Black Lives Matter rallies and say, that's fine, but this isn't? Well, there's a difference. One is a very legitimate grievance being expressed, okay, after systemic disenfranchisement for centuries, and totally understandable, and it's caused by like actual fucking murder in the hands of the police. The other is just your fifis are hurt. Like your literal fifis are hurt because the billionaire man-child president that does not give a shit about you feels slighted by Fox News. They're out there expressing a completely illegitimate grievance. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous to fly from Florida to be like, I'm going to fucking show everybody that this election is stolen from the president. It's like, dude, you literally could just run around with a megaphone in your own hometown and tell everybody you're a fucking idiot. You don't have to like also spend, I don't know, $300 and potentially give a bunch of other people in that airplane COVID. Just to fucking show everyone how much of a hog you are. Anyway, part of the reason why this is also different than Black Lives Matter rallies and rallies that are thrown by fucking demon rats, for the most part, unless it's indoors, in which case it's indefensible, is that these motherfuckers literally don't wear masks. And not only do they not wear masks, but they also are proud of not wearing masks and believe, for the most part, that COVID is like fake. It's a farce. It's a phony. Just like this election, brother. So that's the big difference there. If you're outdoors and you're aware of COVID and you're wearing a mask, like the likelihood that your event will turn to a super spreader is a little bit different than if you don't wear a mask, literally have never worn a mask, think wearing a mask is a muzzle, and think COVID is fake, and you're fucking screaming at each other.
And we're saying we want an honest and fair election.
Do you want same places that Donald Trump won to also continue to count the vote?
Sure.
All of it.
If they're not done, yes.
So the states have said they continued counting to when they were supposed to. Their laws are in place to stop counting at a certain point. but anybody that got their votes in before November 3rd or on November 3rd are counted according to all of the different states. Do you think that all of the states that Donald Trump won were actually legitimate?
Absolutely.
And all of the states that Biden won, do you think those were legitimate as well?
I don't think all of them that he won were illegitimate. I think the one.
Yeah, come on. Come on. You got it. You're not walking into the trap. You're sprinting into it. You're literally like head first diving into the trap. Like, that's not even a trap. It's literally just like, so you think all the votes that were cast for Donald Trump are legitimate, but you think all of the votes that were cast for Joe Biden might not be.
And there was water pipes burst in Atlanta.
Nope.
Yeah, but the water pipes burst in Atlanta actually did not favor Joseph Robinette. It hurt him, because if it was adjusted, one of the most populous areas, if they were able to count the votes correctly at the time, then Georgia wouldn't look so different, and then all of a sudden would have caught up and actually gave Joe Biden a victory. Also, again, these people are forgetting, they're obviously unaware of the fact that mail-in ballots deliberately were going to be counted in certain key states later, so that this kind of confusion could be created. Now, of course, why would they know that? It's not entirely their fault. If your media consumption is exclusive to Fox News and you don't have the Hasan Twitch broadcast open on the other tab on election night, you're not going to be aware of these sorts of things, and you're going to be freaking the fuck out.
Do something else.
By the law. The media may say by the law. That's not what our Constitution says. And
it's what the state's constitutions say, though. There are state laws that are in place, right?
The legislatures are the ones that are going to step in now, because
Doesn't she recognize that, like, she's expecting actual cheating? Like, that is literally undemocratic. Like, what she wants is, if you're talking about state legislatures to step in, which is not going to happen anyway. I don't even know where she heard that. But if she wants, for example, like faithless electors, for example, like, that's actually cheating. Like, that is undemocratic. That's authoritarian. It's the opposite of what is supposed to happen in a fair and free election in a country like the United States. It's crazy.
courts, as we know.
So some of the legislators have stepped in and said this is a free and fair election, including one of the people that Donald Trump put in place, who is one of the federal security election officials, who has come out and said that all of his claims are baseless, that this was a free and fair election. What do you say to that?
Well, that means he's been compromised by the demon rats, of course.
Some of the senators that are Republican are saying, okay,
sure,
you know.
Some of them are, because some of them are part of the swamp, and that's why they need to be cleaned out.
You don't believe anyone that says that this is a free and fair election? You think
absolutely
was
not.
2016 a free and fair election?
Not. There was probably fraud then too. This swamp has gotten.
You think that Donald Trump won legitimately?
I think that the swamp is so deep that there's probably been fraud and cheating that have gone on for decades now.
I mean, dude, it's like it's a cult. It's literally a cult. There's no other way. There's no other way to analyze this aside from the framework of cult programming. Like, it's crazy. It's just insane. Like, oh no, any outcome in which my candidate loses is a fake one. Even in instances where he wins, there's probably fraud, but they failed to deliver on that one. It's pretty funny that CNN is just going full debate lord over here, by the way. She's just like, fuck this. Fuck you. Karen, I'm sick of your shit. I'm gonna fucking debate you.
We want one simple thing. What's that? 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen, my guy. That's not how it works. Dude, isn't it funny that these people made fun of like Hillary Clinton supporters over and over again? Like, they constantly made fun of Hillary Clinton supporters. They are so much worse. And at least those fucking Clinton supporters that were crying and shit, like, it was a little silly to wear like pussy hats and stuff. That was a little goofy, okay? We were having a goofball moment. But at least, like, they were kind of right about how horrible the Trump administration was going to be. So they were crying and it looked hysterical to a certain degree, but they were kind of right. But these people are like, they're so much worse. It's so much more embarrassing. It's certainly embarrassing to be crying in a pussy hat, okay, about Donald Trump becoming president. You don't want to get caught like that. That's not a good look. This is so much worse, because at least that person in the pussy hat crying is like crying because they were right. Like, they literally correctly saw a far right Supreme Court potentially absolutely eviscerating reproductive rights, for example. You know what I mean? Like, that shit's coming. It's coming, folks. They were kind of correct in crying. Of course, if they're crying because, like, you know, Hillary Clinton couldn't break the glass ceiling, then fuck them. That's silly as shit. You're a silly person. But this is super silly. This is some goober shit, dude. This is next level. Like, you activated the hogs because you're upset that Donald Trump lost the election. Like, that sucks, dude.
CNN sucks. CNN sucks. CNN sucks. Fox News sucks. Fox News sucks.
Oh, shit.
Fox News sucks. Fox News sucks.
Hell yeah, brother. Woo, something we can agree on. Finally, Donald Trump is bringing the country together, dude. Now, of course, the problem here is they're saying Fox News sucks. A lot of them still watch Fox News because, you know, they can't look away. But also, now they're moving on to Newsmax. Like, Newsmax and OAN. Luckily, OAN, I don't think, has a TV channel, but it's, like, digital. And Newsmax, which does have a TV channel, if I'm not mistaken, is now increasing its ratings, like, tenfold. And those guys are very clearly trying to fill a void. Does OAN have a TV channel? Oh, OAN does too? Oh, I thought OAN was just digital. That's so much worse than... I can't believe I'm saying this, but, like, Fox News is garbage. But god damn, dude, OAN and Newsmax are even worse than they are. Like, it's gonna be real bad.
How bad is Fox News now? What the hell happened? What the hell happened? What a disgrace. They're the enemy of the people.
Like, I truly did not think we would get to a point where I would say, like, at least Fox News is, like, a little more restrictive than Newsmax.
Lock him up. Lock him up. We are not letting that crackhead and that pedophile in our house.
Isn't American politics so great? When he says that, I'm literally like, I wonder who he's talking about. Like, is he talking about Donald Trump? Or is he talking about Joe Biden? Bill Clinton, maybe? It could literally be a bunch of fucking presidents. Like, I truly don't know. It's great. Don Jr. is a fucking crackhead too. Like, he just does the good shit. He doesn't have to, like, cut it. You know what I mean? Whereas Hunter, literally working class. Hunter is just working class. He's just, like, he's that rich and he still needs to do crack. Like, he still needs to cut it. Because that's how much fucking crack, that's how much cocaine he's doing. I mean, I haven't seen photos of or videos of Biden hanging out with Epstein. That's true. But what you simpleton, what you do not understand is that Donald Trump is a white hat pedophile. When he was fucking children, allegedly, he was doing it for good because he's fighting against all the bad pedophiles. You do not understand how deep the well goes.
Latinos for Trump. Hashtag we are woke. And hashtag we are the storm. All right, stop the steal. Stop the steal. Stop the steal.
Alex Jones. Alex Jones. Alex Jones.
It's like the crowd is chanting literally all the worst shit. If you were to put together the past 4 years and, like, all of the worst elements of the past 4 years and why America is in the state that it's in with, like, COVID absolutely dumpstering and dumpstering us. Like, COVID has blown our back walls out, okay? Like, we're broken. We're bruised. We're battered. COVID fucked us so hard, and it still doesn't matter. We're on the ground. We're like, no, please, no more. COVID's still blowing our back out. And this is literally the reason, okay? This is literally the fucking reason. Because of idiots like this, because of all the misinformation that has broken the brains completely of millions of Americans, misinformation that's also legitimized by Donald Trump, the bully pulpit, but also misinformation that was created at Fox News and normalized for so long. Apparently, the Proud Boys are in a circle around Alex Jones' security for him on the way up to the Capitol. Their counter to "this is what democracy looks like," the popular chant is "this is what America looks like." So a bunch of fucking militarized hogs, the fucking Kielbasa Brigade, that's what America looks like. Do you really want America to look like this? Because it's pretty fucking shit. If this is what America looks like, well, that sucks. America's dog shit then, dude. Yo, we need a refund on this, dude. We need a reset.
What does this mean? We've never seen anything like this. You have somebody who is, depending on how you look at it, either has lost the election or is down a significant amount with not much room to make up.
Yeah, we've never seen anything like this because people usually aren't this fucking crazy. Like, we've gotten to a completely new level of like psychotic nonsense with the misinformation, largely caused by Fox News, by the way. So they're like, oh, I wonder how this happened. Heated exchange on Fox News over vote counting and election fraud. Let's take a look. OAN duking it out with Fox News.
What do you want to have happen with those 700,000 votes? The ballots are already mixed in. Do you just want 700,000 votes deducted from Biden's
We want to make sure
total?
that conversation happens.
Where are the votes to pull ahead?
Forward. This is now my third time to try to get this answer out. The legal path.
Yo, she should pull the sexism card. That one's really good usually. Wow. How intolerant of this male, this white cishet male anchor to not let me, a white cishet blonde female anchor, or rather a Trump supporter in the campaign, to lie on national television. Yeah, don't try to mansplain a soft coup to me. Sweat tea. Sweat tea.
I get it. You guys spent years trying to run up a Russia hoax against the president.
It's very simple.
This is literally what you're supposed to do. I don't give a fuck that it's on Fox News, like CNN, any channel you're on. This is literally what you're supposed to do. You're like, no, stop talking and answer the exact question I have for you. What is the expectation here? Like, there is no like sexism in that circumstance. There's nothing. Okay. It's just, here you have someone who's trying to do like a little bit of fascism, just a treat, just as a little treat. You got to fucking stop him. Like, nope, doesn't matter. Don't give a fuck. Tell me how you're going to tell me what your fucking insane mentality is.
Where are the votes in a path to 270? Where?
We are taking every legal avenue.
That's the thing. It's like they're never gonna make up the votes necessary. You know, 5 million plus in the popular vote, a fuckload necessary, like way more than 70,000 across 3 states necessary for Donald Trump to somehow like win back these seats or these electoral college votes. So what they have to do is try to yeet votes that have already been counted by being like, oh, no, like, you know, these are actually fake votes. These are illegal votes, not legal ones. That's the issue. The issue is like Republicans played themselves. They double dicked themselves. Okay. So one, they played themselves by literally being like, don't do mail-in ballots, go vote in person, which probably caused significant harm in their turnout. Because that would have been real easy to just like send in a fucking mail-in ballot. And 2, they fucked themselves over because if you can't suppress the vote before the election is done, then it's much more difficult once the votes have been cast and they're counted. You had to have done it early on in the process. You got to stop people from going out to vote. Once they already voted, like the difference you can make up is like maximum 10,000. You know what I mean? You can't make up 100,000 in certain states or 200,000 votes in certain states with like purging some of these votes. Donald Trump posted yet another fucking tweet that got stopped by Twitter, but it doesn't matter. People are not going to stand for having this election stolen from them by a privately owned radical left company, Dominion, and many other reasons. Right. Privately owned leftist company.
Under leftist martial law, and if the communist Chinese agent Joe Biden is able to get in there, he will put America under permanent lockdown, siege, until we're brought to our knees. Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump, by every metric, won this election. That's why the corporate media, including Fox News, will not let anybody on to show the proven fraud in Pennsylvania, in Michigan, in Arizona, in Georgia, in Nevada, and in Minnesota.
I mean, Trump won by 0 metrics. Like, there is not a single metric that he won in, unless you think like the only states that should be counted are states in which he won. You know what I mean? Like, I love that they're shitting on Fox, possibly because, I mean, he won our hearts. That's true. Trump did win our hearts, especially with the coming out as a bisexual in the last week of his rallies and the double dick sucking dance. Like, I think that was pretty tight. And he was like, I I'm gonna kiss all the boys. Oh, they're so burly. I love them. He won our souls with his dumpy. Yeah, he did. If there is a metric of success for dumpers, Trump fucking absolutely crushed it on that one. That's also a fact.
And now big tech that's allied with communist China is even suppressing people's text messages because the criminals are scared of you. And the globalists know there's been a populist revolution worldwide. They know from Brazil to the UK there's a huge awakening.
We are going to look back at this era, hopefully if we're still alive at that point, or if there are future generations, but they will look back at this era in a similar capacity to how we looked at the 30,000 Nazis that marched to Madison Square Garden. It's pretty much the same. Like, they are, when they talk about a global populist uprising, they're talking about nationalism. They're talking about fascism. Like, they're literally talking about that. When Alex Jones says that, he's talking about AfD in Germany. He's talking about Orban. Like, he's talking about Polish nationalists. So in a similar capacity to what occurred in the 30s, that's happening now. He brought up Bolsonaro, exactly, who is a fascist.
We declare independence from the enemy of America, CNN. And we declare independence from that communist Chinese agent, Joe Biden, and his demonic pedophile family.
Like, how do you watch this and then you're Joe Rogan and you have him on your show? Or you're Tim Pool and you have him on your show? You can't cast any aspersions. Like, you're done. Like, when you do that, you can't turn around and be like, well, I'm actually a centrist. Like, you're not a fucking centrist. This dude is a psychopath.